had a perfectly usable Douk Knob Sound AK2515 Spectrum Analyser, which was great fun and sometimes useful. I stupidly attached it to a stand with 3M two-sided tape. I did not take care to avoid what I assume are the ever so slightly exposed capacitors, so when I took it off, they also pulled off. My soldering skills are just not good enough to repair it, so a replacement was required. Instead of going for another AK2515, I decided to try the pre-built VFD253, which costs a bit more, but also comes with Bluetooth, two 3.5mm line in sockets and a 3.5mm line out socket. There is also more functionality than the AK2515. Both versions appear to share the same vacuum fluorescent display, which hosts the visual output for the spectrum analyzer and the clock. In the VFD253, the second circuit board presumably provides the circuits for the Bluetooth connection, the additional line in socket and the line out socket for the audio switch function. Out of the box, the VFD253 feels well made and well designed, and critically for me, the important bits are protected against idiots wielding heavy duty 3M tape. In the box you also get a remote control, for which you need to bring your own batteries and a USB-A to USB-C cable. I did not get the two sticky pads for the bottom as advertised, which is probably a good thing. The plastic casing sandwiched between the triangular aluminium ends appears to be custom made, and unlike the AK2515, the three mode switches are on the front of the unit, not the back. The instructions with the VFD253 are significantly easier to understand than for the AK2515, so I thought for this video I'd work through them to see what the unit can deliver. As I do not need the VFD253 powered up all the time, and in order to avoid any common ground noise, I will use a power bank via the USB-C DC in socket. As soon as power is connected, the display defaults to the clock. I decided to just use the remote control, but you can also use the three buttons on the front screen, but it's more of a faff. Pressing the mic button means that the spectrum analyzer displays the sound picked up by the internal microphone. The button on the bottom right allows you to switch between Bluetooth or the two audio line in sockets. Bluetooth pairing is straightforward with no password required. Obviously, it's usually a good idea to connect your speaker via the 3.5mm audio out jack before you play any music using Bluetooth. The brightness level of the display can be altered using the button top right and clicking through the preset levels. There are two types of clock display and 5 spectrum display options, each with 3 or 4 variants. Just scroll through and find the version you want. Simply use the up, down, left and right options on the larger button. The star button in the middle is effectively to select an option including one of the 5 levels of gain or any changes to the clock. Also, using the buttons on the remote, you can change the speed at which the columns fall, the length of time the peak bars hold before falling, and also the speed at which they fall. There are 5 preset speeds for each of these 3 options. One of the reasons I wanted a replacement for the AF2515 was to check volume levels and the frequency distribution when messing about making music on my Polyend tracker, which works perfectly. You can connect 2 devices via the 3.5mm line-in sockets, however you can only play one input at a time and select which one using the button on the bottom right of the remote. The VFD253 also functioned admirably as an audio adapter, playing music via Bluetooth on my aged hi-fi with great clarity and volume. For those of you interested in the tech specs, here's what Douk have to say. So as you might have guessed, I really like this spectrum analyzer. It's a nice design which is well made and with more than enough functionality and options to keep me amused for months. It's all good.